Today, we will be talking about cam and followers, the second part of theory of machine. In this, I will be starting with some objective questions. As number one, the size of cam depends upon. As we should know, when we have to define a cam or the size of the cam, what out of these four should be defined. So, by the which option we should define a cam. There are four options: base circle, pitch circle, prime circle and pitch curve. So we have to define the size of the cam which depends upon the answer is base circle. So base circle is an important point or important parameter which can define the size of a cam. Now the second question is the angle between the direction of follower motion and a normal to the pitch curve. अब हमको ये बताना है कि एक एंगल है जो किस किस के बीच में है, डायरेक्शन ऑफ फॉलोअर मोशन एंड नॉर्मल टू पिच कर्व. इफ आई ड्रॉ अ normal to pitch curve and the angle between the direction of follower motion, what angle is that? That angle is, if we see the four options is pitch angle, prime angle, base angle and pressure angle. So the answer is pressure angle. So remember this, the pressure angle is the angle between the direction of follower motion and normal to the pitch curve. Now third is a circle drawn with center as the cam center and radius equal to distance between the cam center and the point of the pitch curve at which the pressure angle is maximum is called pitch circle, and the answer is pitch circle. So if we talk about the definition, a cam is a mechanical device used to transmit motion to a follower by direct contact, or we can call as a cam is a rotating machine element which gives motion to another element known as follower. The driver is called the cam and the driven member is called follower. In a cam follower pair, the cam normally rotates while the follower may translate or oscillate. A familiar example is the camshaft of an automobile engine, where the cams drive the push rods to open and close the valves in the synchronization with the motion of the piston. तो हम यहाँ बात कर रहे हैं जैसे ऑटोमेटिक वॉल्व्स होते हैं जो ओपन और क्लोज होते हैं ऑटोमोबाइल इंजन में, उनको ऑपरेट करने के लिए हम कैम्स को यूज़ करते हैं. अब यहाँ पे हम देखेंगे कुछ बेसिक टर्मिनोलॉजी. हमारा जो कैम है वो यहाँ आप देख रहे हैं, ये डार्क सी जो लाइन बनी हुई है कुछ इस तरीके की, दिस इज़ आर बेसिक कैम. ये हमारी कैम प्रोफाइल हो गई, ठीक है. और जो सर्कल हमने बनाया हुआ है यहाँ पे, इसको बेस सर्कल कहा जाता है. तो कैम प्रोफाइल हो गई, दिस विल बी योर बेस सर्कल हमने डिफाइन किया हुआ है. या सेंटर में उसके ज्वाइन करने के लिए शाफ्ट पे लगेगा, इसलिए हमने सेंटर की बनाई हुई है. प्राइम सर्कल की हम बात करें तो ये जो रोलर के सेंटर पॉइंट से और कैम के सेंटर पॉइंट से अगर मैं एक सर्कल बनाता हूँ उसको कहते हैं प्राइम सर्कल. पिच कर्व की बात करेंगे, अगर मैं ट्रेस पॉइंट से कैम प्रोफाइल को ड्रॉ करूँगा तो ये डॉटेड हमको दिख रहा है, दिस इज कॉल्ड पिच कर्व. फॉलोअर ट्रेवल सेंटर से टॉप मोस्ट तक जो जाएगा, दिस वर्टिकल डिस्टेंस कैन बी कॉल्ड एज फॉलोअर ट्रेवल. ये फॉलोअर है. एंगल की हम बात कर रहे थे, फॉलोअर मोशन हमने लिया हुआ और पिच कर्व पे एक परपेंडिकुलर ड्रॉ करी, इन दोनों के बीच में जो अल्फा से डिफाइन कर रहे हैं इसको कह रहे हैं हम प्रेशर एंगल. तो दीज आर द टर्म्स विच आर यूज्ड इन कैम. प्राइम सर्कल की बात होती है, बेस सर्कल की बात होती है, पिच कर्व की बात होती है, कैम प्रोफाइल की बात होती है और प्रेशर एंगल की बात होती है. तो ये जो डार्क सा दिख रहा है हमारा लाइन, ये हो गई कैम. और ये जो रोलर फॉलोअर की हम बात कर रहे हैं, वर्टिकल और यहाँ पे रोलर. फिर हम बात करते हैं देयर आर वेरियस टाइप्स ऑफ कैम्स अवेलेबल दैट आर लिस्टेड बिलो. जैसे कि मैंने नाम रखा हुआ है और डायग्राम बनाया हुआ है, तो वी विल इजीली अंडरस्टैंड दैट. डिस्क और प्लेट कैम. प्लेट मतलब हम यहाँ फ्लैट की बात कर रहे हैं, फ्लैट है और इट इज़ रोटेट अबाउट दिस. तो यहाँ पे रोटेट हो रहा है, ये फ्लैट दिख रहा है और इस पे जो फॉलोअर है वो उसी की इनलाइन है, तो रेडियल फॉलोअर की बात कर रहे हैं. ये है डिस्क और प्लेट कैम. कैम अलग अलग तरीके के हो सकते हैं. सेकंड इज सिलेंड्रिकल कैम. ये सिलेंडर को देख लें, इसके अंदर में स्लॉट कट किया हुआ है. जब ये रोटेट करेगा तो फॉलोअर विल मूव ऑसिलेट बाय द प्रोफाइल. थर्ड इज ट्रांसलेटरी या ट्रांसलेटिंग कैम. ट्रांसलेटिंग क्या होगा, इट विल गिव मोशन to follower, it is moving like this, translatory, and the roller follower will move up and down due to this peak. Next is wedge shape. This wedge shape will give follower motion up and down. As wedge shape, lower portion will lower down the follower, and upper portion will take upper the follower. It is moving horizontally and follower moving up and down. Next is spiral cam. A cam profile is drawn spiral in the circular, so that when it is rotating, due to the spiral motion, the cam will move up and down. Last is the heart shape. Heart shape means if we are putting follower here, if we put follower here, so when it is rotating, a point or peak will come up and down. Through this motion, we will give follower the different reciprocatory motion. So flat, yeah, plate cam, cylindrical cam, translating cam, wedge cam, spiral cam, and heart shape cam. Next is types of follower. There are various types of follower which are as below. Knife edge follower. We are able to see the knife edge in this. In this knife edge, the follower has the edge like a knife, but it is not primarily used because its edge deteriorate and will displace the follower. So it is obsolete. It is not at all used. Next is roller follower. It is used other than this, but it requires more space. It reduces the deterioration but it require more space, as the roller is connected with the cam, so we are calling it as a roller follower. Next is flat face. We are able to see this cam. It is a flat which is moving on the cam, so it is called flat face follower. Spherical face. The face of the follower is spherical and it is moving on the cam, yeah, moving on profile of cam. These all are, which we have seen, are radial because it is perpendicular in line to the cam profile. The axis of cam rotation and the follower movement is in line. Radial follower, all these four are coming under radial. As I told, radial follower, all the four are coming radial. Inline, both are inline. And offset follower means we are able to see that this follower is moving with the offset follower. The axis of the cam rotation and follower movement is somewhat distance. It is at offset. So that's why we are calling it as a offset follower. Now there are some applications. Application of cam and follower. There are different types of applications. Some of this I have written. Internal combustion engine I have told in automobile industry to close and open the outlet valve and inlet valves. Automated type of machinery, cam and follower used in different parts which are automated in motion. In hydraulic system, the main mechanism is cam and follower mechanism. In that case, the mechanism is dependent on the fluid pressure. In printing machinery, the mechanism of cam and follower helps the screen to be printed. The push helps to take the position, whereas printing will be done with the pull helps to the print out that. Screw pieces of machinery, gear cutting machinery, wall clocks, automatic lathe machine. So these are some of the applications which we should know for the cam and follower. The different motion which we are getting are uniform velocity, modified uniform velocity, uniform acceleration and deceleration, simple harmonic motion, and cycloidal motion. So we are able to see that when follower is moving, so we will get different cam is moving, so we get different types of motion of the follower. Follower can move uniformly, modified, uniform accelerated, and deaccelerated, simple harmonically, or cycloidal motion. Uniform velocity. This graph is showing the displacement diagram. This is showing the velocity diagram. This is showing the acceleration diagram. With uniform velocity, we are moving 360 degree. With all, we can move 360 degree and more, but it is showing a 360 degree rotation of a cam. So vertical is the displacement of follower and horizontal is the displacement of cam. So when cam is rotating 360 degree, how much follower is displaced is shown in this graph. So from 0 degree, your cam is moving up, so it is called rise. From A to B, your follower is rise till B, till 90 degree. From 90 to 180 degree, it is dwell. Dwell period means 0 displacement. Wherever the position of follower is, your follower remains there. That stage is called dwell. So 0 displacement is called dwell. As we are able to see, this is a horizontal line. So B to C is dwell up to height h from an angle 90 to 180 degree. Now from 180 degree to 270 degree, your follower is getting down. That is called fall. So your follower is getting down. From 270 to 360 degree, it is another dwell period. The stage is rise, dwell, fall and dwell, and the whole degree is 360 degree. This motion is called the follower displacement, and the diagram is displacement diagram. Now we are able to see the velocity diagram. From 0 or at 0 degree, your velocity suddenly increase, it becomes constant in rise period, it is constantly moving up. Suddenly it drops down to horizontal or flat 0 velocity. At dwell period, your velocity is 0, it remains constant. From C to D, it is getting negative, so your sudden fall down in velocity or negative velocity at 180 degree till 270 degree, it remains constant. So suddenly it becomes 0. So the graph is like this: rise constant, fall constant, negative fall constant, 0 constant. So this is the velocity diagram. But the acceleration diagram is sudden increase. We are able to see this infinity, but we don't require this. So what we did, we modified the velocity diagram. The modified velocity diagram is shown here. The sharp edges are replaced by curvature. Replaced by curvature. So we are not getting infinite acceleration, we are getting some amount of acceleration. So all the graphs are changed by the modified uniform velocity. Next is simple harmonic motion. Simple harmonic motion, we are able to see, we have drawn a circle of radius equal to stroke, that this will show the length of stroke. As we have seen up also, this will show the stroke length. This is stroke length. So draw a stroke length, draw a semicircle of radius equal to diameter equal to stroke. Horizontally divide into angular, which is given by outstroke, return stroke as in the question. Now draw the vertical lines by dividing the outstroke, return stroke and dwell stroke equal parts and equally the circle. Draw the horizontal line, join the horizontal line with vertical line. Where you will get the point, you will draw this profile. This is the velocity diagram for simple harmonic motion. This is the acceleration diagram for simple harmonic motion. Now we will understand uniform acceleration diagram with acceleration and retardation with a figure. First we have to see the cycloidal motion. In cycloid, as we have defined, or we know that cycloid is a curve traced by a circle moving on a horizontal surface without slipping by considering a point which is tracing the cycloid. If we take a point on a circle and we rotate a circle on a straight path, then the path traced by that point is known as cycloid. So similarly, we are taking this, as I have taken outstroke and divided into 8 parts, and this circle s by 2, r is equal to s by 2 pi, s will be the stroke. Draw this circle also in 6 parts, join center point with the highest center point, draw parallel line to these m and l. Now with this parallel line you have to join these curves, so we are able to see this profile is called cycloidal. This is velocity diagram for cycloidal motion, this is acceleration diagram for cycloidal motion. Now as we have seen this numerical, follower type roller follower, inline it's radial, lift is 25 mm, base circle radius is 20 mm. You have to draw with the base circle. Roller radius is 5 mm. Outstroke with uniform acceleration retardation, 120 degree cam rotation, dwell for 60 degree cam rotation, return stroke with uniform acceleration and retardation for 90 degree cam rotation, dwell for remaining period. 120 is rise, 60 degree is dwell, 90 degree is fall, and rest will be the dwell. So how much will be the dwell? 120 plus 60 will give you 180, 180 plus 90 will give you 270, 360 degree minus 270 will give you 90 degree. So rest 90 degree will be the dwell period. Draw the cam profile for condition same with the follower offset to right of the cam center by 5 mm and cam rotating counterclockwise. So first we have to draw the displacement diagram. As we are able to see this motion is uniform acceleration and retardation. For uniform acceleration retardation, the center point is important. So outstroke is given 120 degree, dwell is given 60 degree, return is given 90 degree and rest is 90 degree. So we will take a scale. So think of 30 degree is equal to 1 centimeter. So we have taken 1 centimeter, 30 degree. How much? It is 4 centimeter. Draw 4 centimeter line. This is 60 degree. So divide by 30 will give you 2 centimeter. Draw 2 centimeter line. 90 degree divided by 30 will give you 3 centimeter. Draw this 3 centimeter line. Rest you can draw of your own choice, or you can take 90 degree divided by 30 will give you 3 centimeter. So we have taken 4 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter and 3 centimeter. Now vertical will be your equal to stroke. Stroke is given as lift is 25 mm. So vertical will be 25 mm. Now this is your outstroke, this is your dwell, this is your return stroke, and last one will be the dwell. Now divide the outstroke and return stroke into equal parts. So I have divided into 6 parts. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Similarly 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have divided this into 6 equal parts and this is into 6 equal parts. Now center line will be 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6. Center line will be the third line. Here also the center line will be the 10th line. Now from the 10th line you have to take it, divide these 3 center points, join this 0 to F and join center point to center. Means we have to join these 3 lines. First, second, third center, fourth and fifth. We have drawn these. How we have divided? We have divided this line into 6 equal parts. As we have divided the outstroke and return stroke, so we have to divide the center line into 6 equal parts. Similarly, here also we have to divide the center line into 6 equal parts. Now, center to center we have joined. First point to 0, second point to 0, center point. Now we will go up, fourth point to top, fifth point to top. So, first 2 line will be from down and next 2 line will be drawn from F. Similarly, we have divided 6 parts this line. So first 2 lines will be from G and last 2 lines will be from M, this point. So we will got 6 points here and 6 points here. Now first line with the first number, here is the point. Second line with the second number, B is the point. Third line with the third number, C is the point. Fourth line with 4 number, D is the point. Fifth line with the fifth number, we have E point. So draw or join all these points, you will get this curve. F and G is constant, and similarly H, I, J, K, L will give you the points. So this will give you the displacement diagram. Now we have to draw the cam profile for this. For drawing cam profile we need base circle. So here the radius of base circle is 20 mm. There are 2 conditions. First is radial and second is offset. In radial condition, first we have drawn the base circle of 20 mm radius. This is the center point. Now divide these into outstroke, dwell, return and dwell. So 120 degree is the outstroke. Put your compass protector here. Mark 120 degree. After 120 degree, mark 60 degree. After 60 degree, mark 90 degree. So we have divided the base circle into outstroke, dwell stroke and return stroke. As we have got the roller circle, now base circle is replaced or the function will be done by prime circle. So from the center of roller, draw a circle. This will give you the prime circle. Now put or take the measurement from 1A, 2B, 3C, 4D, 5E. What I am saying? Take the measurements from 1A, this vertical height, 2B, 3C. Measure this. First measure 1A and put into point 1. These are the radial lines. We have divided into 6 parts, this and this also. Divide these outstroke and return stroke into 6 equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So put this, and from here you have to, from the base circle, you have to draw a point till A. So 1A, 2B, 3C, 4D. From the prime circle, you have to, as I have mentioned, the points will be on the prime circle, not on the base circle, because we have taken the roller follower. Put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on prime circle. Then from 1 measure 1a, from 2 measure 2b, 3c, 4d, 5e and 6f. Similarly 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Draw rollers diameter on all these points. Now similarly smoothly join all the points from the roller ends. See, as we have able to see 1a, 1, 2b, 3c, join all these points with a smooth curve. So this will give you the cam profile with radial follower or radial condition. Now second is our condition, which is offset. So axis of your follower is offset by 5 mm. This is the axis of roller follower and this is the axis of your cam rotation. This is rotating like this. As in the question it is mentioned towards right 5 mm. So I have shifted 5 mm from here and I have drawn a circle with a radius of 5 mm from the center of cam and radius 5 mm. I have drawn this circle. This is called offset circle. Now from this we will measure outstroke, return stroke and dwell. As we are able to see this is anti-clockwise moving. Sorry, it is moving clockwise direction. So 120 degree, 60 degree and 90 degree. So profile will be drawn from here. But here we have drawn the radial line. Here we have to take the tangential line. First line is this. Second, 1 point tangential, 2 point tangential, 3 point tangential, 4 point tangential, 5th point tangential and 6 point tangential. Similarly 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All these lines will be tangential to offset circle. Now similarly draw or measure the points 1a, 1 dash, a or 2b, 3c, 4d, 5e, 6f, similarly 7g, 8h, 9i, etc. Now draw rollers here and draw a smooth curve. So this will be the profile of cam for offset condition. So you have to draw the profiles like this. So we have completed with the cams. These are the basic or general requirement for the cam. Now second topic is gear. This is one of the basic or important topic in theory of machine and it is one of the important components in different machineries and automobile. So what are gears? Gears are machine elements that transmit motion by means of successfully engaging teeth. The gear teeth acts like small levers or gears can be called as a power transmitting device. It is giving positive drive and gears is one of the important component of a machinery. Now I have shown a profile of teeth of a gear. See, we are able to see there are two teeth. Now we will talk about different terminologies used in gears. First of all, we will draw different circles. First of all, we have drawn a clearance circle. This dotted bottom circle is called dedendum circle. It is not called clearance circle. It is called dedendum circle. The bottom most circle is called dedendum circle. Next to it with some distance is called clearance circle. Before or after root or dedendum circle, we are able to see the next circle, which is called clearance circle. In the center point, it is called pitch circle and the top is called addendum circle. So dedendum circle, clearance circle, pitch circle and addendum circle. Now the vertical distance, if we are talking about the center radial distance from pitch circle to addendum is called addendum. From dedendum circle or root circle to pitch circle is called dedendum. This is called radial distance. These are not called circles. So remember the difference. Circles are different and the radial distance is called addendum and dedendum. Face width, it we are able to see the thickness. Addendum circle, we are able to see top line. If we divide the teeth, upper part above the pitch circle is called face and the lower part is called flank. Now there are certain terms called working depth. As we are able to see that when another gear is in mesh, it is not moving or it is not penetrating the clearance part. So the working depth will be from the clearance circle to the top addendum circle. Total depth is from the root circle to the addendum circle. And the difference between the clearance circle and root circle is called clearance. Now there are certain terms called as tooth thickness. If we move on pitch circle and we measure the distance from one point to another, this is called tooth thickness. And if we move on the circumference or the circular path of pitch circle and we measure the distance from one point on this teeth to the similar point on the another teeth. From here we are taken point, so we should move on the pitch curve and we should trace the point till here. So this is called circular pitch, which we will discuss by formula also. So you should see from in the figure, if we measure the distance circular moving on pitch circle and considering a point on this teeth, similarly considering the point on this teeth, so this distance will be called as circular pitch, and the difference between these two is called tooth space. So these are the certain terminology which we must know while using gears. Now we will divide or classify the gears. Gear may be classified according to relative position of the axis of revolution. As we are able to see that axis of revolution we are talking about, as we are able to see the axis, this is, we are able to see the parallel lines. These are the axis of shaft and these gears are mounted on this is the practical view. If we add this, so axis will be parallel. So parallel, intersecting, neither parallel or non-intersecting. So first is showing the parallel axis. According to this we can divide the axis of the cam, gears, shaft. This is parallel. Second is intersecting. This is mounted, or this is the position on which one gear is mounted. This is axis and second is this. When we see the shaft here, both are intersecting. Say in the differential, this gear is coming and this gear is coming. If we see the axis, their axis is intersecting. That is what it is called, intersecting shaft. Third one is neither parallel, non-intersecting. Here this shaft axis and this shaft axis, this we can't call it as parallel, neither intersecting. So this is worm wheel, this axis and this axis. So according to the application we are arranging the gears, but according to the arrangement of shaft, we have arranged the gears in different positions. And the last one is rack and pinion. Here we are able to see this rack is horizontal, it is not circular, and pinion is circular. So circular motion is converted into reciprocatory motion. We are able to see, which is used in tie rods in automobile industry for steering wheel. When we rotate steering, a pinion is attached to it and a rod is attached to like this, which is called rack. So when pinion is rotating, rack will moving horizontally, which gives motion to the wheel. So rack and pinion, where motion is converted rotary to reciprocatory. This is one of the important factor, you should remember this. Next is fundamental law of gearing. While drawing or while manufacturing the gear, we should design it properly. So it should follow the law of gearing, that is called fundamental law of gearing. May also be stated as follows: the common normal to tooth profile at the point of contact must always passes through a pitch or fixed point, which is called pitch point, on the line of centers to get a constant velocity ratio. As we are using gears, we required how much or the constant velocity ratio should be transferred. So to provide the constant velocity ratio, all the gear arrangement should follow the fundamental law of gearing, which state that when we draw a common normal, it must always pass in from a point of contact, it must always passes through the pitch point to transfer or to give the constant velocity ratio. As we are able to see in the figure, these are the two gears which pitch circles and a pitch point. So this is the point of contact and we have drawn a normal N1, N2. If with this, it is always passing through the pitch point to transfer the constant velocity ratio. This is gear 1, this is gear 2 with center O2 and O1, moving with angular velocity omega 1 and omega 2. Pitch point, pitch circles, and these are the radius and these are the velocity diagram. So law state that omega 1 upon omega 2 is equal to O2p upon O1p. O2p and O1p we can call as diameter of gear 1 and radius of gear 1 or radius of gear 2. So we can call R2 upon R1. So we got the relation of angular velocity and diameter. Now certain terms we should remember. Circular pitch is equal to pi d by t, where d is diameter, n is number of teeth, where P is circular pitch. As I have mentioned in the terminology, circular pitch. So P is equal to pi d by n, where P is circular pitch, d is diameter, which is pitch circle diameter, and n is number of teeth. Here another term known as module, which is the ratio of d by n. Here d is a similar meaning and n is the number of teeth. So m is equal to d by t. It is standard for gears. So you should remember all these three relation, omega 1 and omega 2 with r1 and r2. P is equal to pi d by t, pi d by n, and m is equal to d by n. Remember these formulas. Now what is gear train? A gear train is a combination of gears used to transmit motion from one shaft to another. Gear train are used to speed up or step down the speed of driven shaft. The following are the main types of gear train. When we are not able to manufacturing of big gears is not feasible. So we take number of gears are arranged to transmit power from one shaft to another, which are at a distance. So according to that, we are dividing the gear trains. First is simple gear train. When we are arranging the gears in a series, we will call it as a simple gear train. Means one gear on the single shaft. Series of gears capable of receiving and transmitting motion from one gear to another is called simple gear train. Our train value is known as n3 by n1 is equal to t1 by t3, where t is the number of teeth and n is the speed. Number of teeth on driving gear is equal to number of teeth on driven gear. Figure is, if we are able to see 1, 2, 3, these three gears. Power is transmitting from 1 to 2, 2 to 3. So train value is n3 by n1, t1 by t2. See, the value of 2 is not here. So gear 2 is not involving in power transmitting. It is just transmitting the motion from one gear to another. It is not changing the speed of any gear. So remember this, driven upon driver is equal to driver upon driven. Speed ratio will be 1 upon train value. If we talk about speed ratio, driver upon driven, driven upon driver. Driver upon driven will be speed ratio. Train value will be opposite. So train value and speed ratio. The intermediate gears have no effect on the speed ratio and therefore they are known as idler. Compound gear train, when more than two or more gears are mounted on a single shaft. This is a single shaft. 2 and 3 are mounted in this. This is called compound. 4 and 5 are mounted on this. This is compound. So we are able to see when a series of gears are connected in such a way that 2 or more gears rotate about an axis with the same angular velocity. 4 and 5 will be moving with same angular velocity. 3 and 2 will be moving with the same angular velocity. Here the train value will be product of number of teeth on driving gear and product of number of teeth on driven gear. Reverted gear train, if the axis of the first and the last wheel of a compound gear coincide. See, first and the last. The axis is coinciding. Axis is coinciding, remember that. As reverted train. Train value will be n6 by n1 for upper one, n2, n3. And pitch circle will be r1, r2 is equal to r3 plus r4. Remember this. This is for upper one, which we have seen here. This is for, this relation is for this diagram. And for this diagram, we have this relationship. That r, center distance is constant. So r1, r2 or r1 plus r2 is equal to r3 plus r4. Remember this will be plus. Now planetary or epicyclic gear train. A gear train having a relative motion of axis is called planetary or epicyclic gear train. Epicyclic means upon and around. One gear is moving upon a gear and it's around, as sun and planetary. That's why it is called sun and or planetary gear. If the arm A is fixed, the wheel S and P constitute a simple gear train. However, if the wheel S is fixed so that the arm can rotate about the axis of S, the P would be moving around S. There it is an epicyclic gear train. So we are able to see different types of gears and the different types of cam and follower. So these are the basic requirement or basic of theory of machines. Thank you and have a nice day.